Imagine this. You move to another country, thousands of kilometers away from home. You build a new life there. You work, you make friends, you adapt to a completely different culture. But then a question appears that most people never think about. What happens if someone dies there? More specifically, what happens if a non-Muslim dies in a Muslim country? Where would they be buried? Would their religious traditions be respected? Would their family be allowed to perform their final rituals? Or would the body be sent back home? Many people assume that Muslim countries only allow Islamic burials, but the truth is far more complex than most people imagine. Because today, millions of non-Muslims live and work across the Middle East, in countries like Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and Kuwait. And when death happens, governments, embassies, religious communities, and families must all navigate a very unique set of rules. So what really happens when a non-Muslim dies in a Muslim country? Let's explore the truth behind funerals, burial rites, and traditions that most people never see.
The Middle East has become one of the largest destinations for international workers. Countries like United Arab Emirates and Qatar have built massive cities, infrastructure, and global businesses. To support this growth, millions of workers arrive from around the world. Many come from countries such as India, Nepal, the Philippines, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Ethiopia, Europe, the United States. Among these workers are people of many religions: Christians, Hindus, Buddhists, Sikhs, and others. They work as engineers, nurses, teachers, drivers, construction workers, chefs, and technicians. Most of the time, life is focused on work and sending money back home to support families. But like anywhere else in the world, life eventually reaches its final chapter. And when that happens, an important question appears. What happens next? Islamic burial traditions. Before understanding non-Muslim funerals, it's important to understand how Islamic burials work. In Islam, burial usually happens quickly, often within 24 hours. The body is washed, wrapped in a white cloth called a kafan, and buried in the ground facing Mecca. Cremation is not allowed in Islamic tradition. Because Muslim countries follow Islamic cultural traditions, burial laws are often designed around these practices. However, since many foreign residents follow different religions, governments have developed special systems to manage non-Muslim funerals. Separate cemeteries for non-Muslims. In several Muslim countries, there are designated burial grounds, specifically for non-Muslims. For example, in Dubai there are cemeteries used by Christian and other expatriate communities. One well-known burial ground is Jabal Ali Cemetery. Here, Christians from many nationalities are buried according to their religious traditions. Funerals are usually organized with the help of churches, embassies, and local authorities. These cemeteries are often peaceful spaces where different cultures come together. Gravestones may display crosses, names in different languages, and symbols from many parts of the world. For families living far from home, these places provide a sense of dignity and respect for the final farewell. What about Hindu cremation? For Hindus, funeral traditions are very different. Instead of burial, Hindu customs usually require cremation. This creates a unique challenge in countries where burial is the traditional practice. Some Gulf countries have created special cremation facilities. For example, in the United Arab Emirates, cremation centers exist to serve Hindu communities. Families gather to perform prayers, rituals, and the final cremation ceremony according to their beliefs. Priests may guide the rituals, and ashes are sometimes returned to the family. In many cases, the ashes are later taken back to India or Nepal to be placed in sacred rivers. These arrangements show how countries adapt to the needs of diverse communities. Christian funeral traditions. Christian communities across the Middle East also maintain their own funeral traditions. Churches often play an important role in organizing funerals. Priests lead prayer services, and families gather to say goodbye. In cities like Abu Dhabi or Doha, international churches serve thousands of When a Christian resident passes away, church leaders often assist with paperwork, funeral arrangements, burial services. These communities become support systems for people living far away from their home countries. Repatriation. Sending the body home. In many cases, families choose another option. Instead of burial in the host country, they send the body back home. This process is called repatriation. Repatriation usually involves hospital documentation, government permits, embassy coordination, specialized funeral transport services, although it can be expensive. Many families prefer this option so that their loved one can be buried in their homeland. For migrant workers, this is often arranged with the help of their employer or embassy. Different rules in different countries. Every country in the region has its own regulations. For example, in Saudi Arabia, burial policies are stricter and religious laws play a larger role. In contrast, countries like United Arab Emirates have developed more extensive systems to accommodate Meanwhile, places like Qatar continue expanding services as their international populations grow. These differences highlight how each nation balances cultural traditions with the realities of a global workforce. Community support during loss. One of the most powerful aspects of expatriate life is community support. When someone passes away, people from the same nationality or religion often come together. Friends organize prayers. In many ways, these moments reveal the human side of migration. Even far from home, people build networks that help them during life's most difficult moments. A global reality, today's world is more connected than ever. Millions of people live outside the countries where they were born. They work in foreign cultures, learn new traditions, and build new communities. But when it comes to death and funerals, traditions remain deeply personal. Every religion has its own beliefs about the final journey. The systems that exist in Muslim countries today show how governments and communities try to balance respect for religious traditions with national laws. So what really happens when a non-Muslim dies in a Muslim country? The answer is not simple. Sometimes there are separate cemeteries. Behind every funeral is a story of migration, culture, faith, and family. It reminds us that no matter where people come from or what religion they follow, the final goodbye is something every human being shares. And in a world where millions of people live far from their birthplace, these hidden systems quietly ensure that every person can receive dignity in their final moments. But this raises another fascinating question. How do other religious communities live, celebrate, and maintain their traditions inside Muslim countries? That's exactly what we explore on this channel. So if you're curious about the hidden lives of different religions around the world, make sure to subscribe.